ran into the auditors, they were there too, and I said, hey, how's that report coming? Well, they said, we were kinda waiting for you to tell us that the preliminary was okay. Well, they never told me that, but they emailed it to me, so I gotta get back to them and say, I look it over, and they were waiting for me and I was waiting for them, so we should have that next month. I don't, as far as I know, there's nothing, there's no surprises or big changes coming on that.
Jim, I have a question.
Yeah,
Page 4, workman's comp,
page 4?
yeah, 418.40, about just a couple inches down. That's run over its budget. Have they increased our workman's comp?
Which account number are you looking at?
418.4.
418? Well, okay, it is that's an annual payment, so we're
Right.
done with that.
Right, but have they increased the rate?
I'd have to get back, probably.
We need to know if we need to budget, you know.
I guess I hadn't really looked into that day. I hadn't really, I noticed it was up there at 107, and sometimes, you know, when we do these budgets, you know, we're just kinda making a,
I guess.
from the hip allocation on that, but it'd be good to look at that, I guess, so, if that is the case.
It's not much, but, you know, it's just.
Yeah, you know, two things affect that, the amount of your payroll, which
Right.
I wouldn't think would be up, and your rate, so. It's possible that in that 16-18 was last year's audit adjustment. You know, they audit your numbers and then you pay that the next year. There's about 3 things that could have affected, I'll look into that.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, good question though.
Also then for Claire, line item 426, same page. And then we'll come to, the periodicals are running over.
Okay, that was, the online, I think what Laura had done is, we're getting more online subscriptions and taking off on reference and making it less.
And when you say reference, you mean magazines and newspapers, because that's over also.
But we're trying to get more online, I know like we have Consumer Report online, you know. But I'll check with the girls, but I know that they said we're trying to scale down the reference to a core and then have more online.
Okay.
So I think the actual books and reference material will be a little less, and this might be just a little bit over.
Yeah, I don't know if you're gonna have to make adjustments for the remaining 6 months of the year or not, you know.
But keep in mind, Dave, that those are not our appropriations. You know, we up those appropriations, anywhere 5 to 15%, so, I mean, it's gonna be very close, and we could be right on the number there, but,
I see what he's saying, it's pretty much spent now.
exactly.
But she pays, see, what we do with the online magazines, we don't pay every month, we pay once a year.
Okay.
And so sometimes they're just a little high, so then we take it down. If their online is a little high, then the actual magazine will be less, or the actual reference will be less.
Okay,
if the
then.
online.
Right now, we're at 107%
Yeah,
and 108%, so they're both over.
right,
So is this a,
annual
that's the-
renewal, yeah.
this is renewal also?
It's once a year,
Okay, was that paid in November, did we do this?
yeah.
Then, well, but then we got to figure for July and November.
I'll check with Tammy, because
Okay.
she's in charge of the magazines.
Okay, appreciate that.
Yep, and I'll let you know.
Microphone rentals also were over it.
Mhm.
That's not a large amount of money, but,
Mhm.
so I don't know what you rent as far as microphone.
It's what they charge us for the renting the equipment. But I will check and see, because sometimes they have just gone up a little bit.
Okay,
The
well,
rentals have gone up.
okay,
But I will check and see.
all right.
Any other questions about financial report? Jim or Claire? If there are none, I'll entertain a motion that the financial report be filed for audit.
I make a motion to finance report be approved.
A second.
Moved and seconded, all in favor?
We have to do a- we have to
Oh,
have a roll
yes,
call.
we should have a roll call vote.
Dr. Dye,
Aye.
Robert Erdman,
Yes.
Darlene Holland,
Yes.
Dave Johnson,
Yes.
Gary Zamata.
Yes. Building and leadership committees, right now, we're between a rock and a hard place with the building. Alan is waiting for us to officially move and vote to have him proceed with the drawings. Our plan was to look at a mortgage for the final $500,000. I talked to John Bean last Monday. We cannot by law take out a mortgage without a referendum, even though it would not raise taxes. We would pay for it out of our income. We cannot get general obligation bonds. School districts can, hospital can, fire station can, we cannot. The legislation that sets up the library district will not allow it. So, at this point, the city will not approve a site plan until we are prepared to apply for a building permit. Building permit is only good for 6 months. Alan needs to draw up all of the plans. Right now, we do not have the money to pay for the new building. And we cannot borrow it. So I need some direction from the board.
How short are we? I
Well,
mean, approximately.
if it comes in as Alan has estimated, we're about $900,000 short. You know, the way the market is right now, we're thinking that it's going to come in under estimate, but not gonna come in $900,000 under estimate. So I was hoping that with a $500 mortgage, we would have what we need to get started. But if that's out of the picture, I don't know where we are.
Well, a referendum to, is a very difficult thing to pass in this economic climate and.
In this community.
In this community. And so it really appears that community support is needed to raise the final amount of money for this project. And, well, they support it. They support a lot of things.
It's kind of crying for the need, we really need community to help.
And I think perhaps what the community needs to understand is the role that a library plays in a community. It's not just books. It's a lot of different things, including services. And,
We proctor tests, we help people,
Well,
we have,
you know,
do
the
this
list
with the
goes.
schools, it's
The li-
very important, but I just think that we really need to tell the community we need help.
And you know, our leadership team, I took the minutes for the last meeting, and we're going to meet again the 4th of January. And I think, at that time, we need some of these people we've been talking about that have offered to help us. And they need to come here and hear all the things that the library does for the community. Because most people aren't aware.
When I went to the PALS meeting, they have these once a month, we go with the librarians, and they said, how's the new library coming? And I said, well, we're really, we got like 2/3 the way there, we're